process it in your own.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. We are here for our workshop today, which we are really excited to be here for. I'm Alex. I am the lead education and partnership consultant. I'm joined today by Sarah. Sarah is our education consultant, which is absolutely brilliant. She's going to help me co-host this workshop today. So we're really excited to be here. And if you're joining us live on Facebook, feel free to type in anything you want to, and I'll keep an eye on it and make sure that you are being answered. Okay, so 3 objectives we've got today. We're only doing 15-20-minute workshops, so it'll be nice and quick for us, but hopefully we'll all learn something. We're going to define the term professional and why it matters, consider why the word professional matters. Distinguish between professional and unprofessional behaviour and reflect on our own practice of how to be a professional teacher. This workshop supports our brand new course, Being a Professional Teacher, which is available on the Teach2030 website if you just go to www.teach2030.com. Part 1 is always free and there are lots of codes for part 2. Now, I want to think about the word professionalism and what the word professional means to you. So feel free to type in the chat, what does it mean to be a professional? What does it mean? I'm also going to put up a poll. You feel free to answer this poll. And you can type in the box whatever you want to. And when you're ready, you can also have a quick answer of the question. What does it mean? If you are on Facebook, feel free just to type.
We've got lots of answers coming in already. All of the above for the poll. What and how you say things, the way you behave and act, how you dress. I would agree it is all of the above. Thank you, Mitra. Conducting oneself in the chat box. Absolutely spot on.
Any other messages, feel free, and then we'll look on. Definitely, it is all of the above. Professionalism is certainly what and how we say things, the way we act and behave and how we dress. As Mitra has said, it's about conducting oneself in a manner which upkeeps the role we hold. That's really nice, Mitra. Thank you so much for that. So everybody, 4 people have said all of the above. So everybody agrees that it's all of those things. Okay, so I want you to have a look at the following 10 statements. I want you to write the number for me of all of the following behaviours that are professional. So if you think that dressing in jeans and a t-shirt is professional behaviour, you'll type in number 1. If you think swearing at a student is professional, you'll type number 2, and so forth. So find out of those 10 statements, I'll read the rest out loud, the ones that are professional, and simply type the numbers into the box. So number 3, saying hello to a student on a corridor. If you think that's professional behaviour, type that in a box. Thank you, Mitra. Thank you, Regina. 4, addressing your head teacher as sir or madam. 5, turning up late to your lesson. 6, not preparing a lesson plan. 7, leaving a lesson early without telling anybody. 8, not knowing a student's name. 9, adding a student on social media. And 10, being unprepared for a meeting. Which ones of these are professional? And if there are any that you're confused about, then drop us a note and we will help.
Everyone seems to be in agreement that numbers 3 and 4, saying hello to a student on a corridor, addressing your head teacher as sir or madam, demonstrate professional behaviour, which is absolutely correct.
So what is the impact of presenting yourself professionally, unprofessionally? So you can think about any of the 10 statements now. What would happen? How do you come across if you wear jeans and a t-shirt to school to teach, or you swear at a student, or you add a student on social media? How would you come across? How would it change the way you're perceived by your students, your colleagues, your head teacher, parents, or those professional ones that you've all got right? How does that change the perception. So any answers, feel free to write it straight into the chat box. What's the impact of presenting yourself professionally or unprofessionally? Now, because there's so few of us here today, if you do want to say something, you can just raise your hand and I can always unmute you. So if you do want to talk about anything.
Mitra, you're absolutely right. Lines may be blurred. I think that's a really true statement. You have to show a difference between who you are at work, your professional persona, and then your personal persona, where you're more relaxed outside of work. Otherwise, you're right, the lines may be blurred. And yes, Regina, students would easily cross boundaries, and that's not what we're there for. We're there to lead them, to guide them, to teach them, not to be their friends as such, but to take them forward in their learning and in their futures.
You know, some of these things are not knowing a student's name. Well, we don't know a student's name the first time we meet them. The first few lessons, you know, I don't want you to get hung up on the fact that you don't know their name yet. That's okay. But if it's after a few months and you still don't know their name, then that's going to be a major problem.
Absolutely. Sorry, excuse me. Absolutely. I've just started teaching this new academic year, and I've got lots of brand new students in front of me. And week by week, as I show up to school, I'm learning the names, and I feel terrible when I'm asking a student, sorry, could you tell me your name again? I feel like it's on me to learn the name, because it's mutual respect. They know my name, I should be knowing their name by now, or getting close to it. Although when you've got 30 students in front of you in 4 different classes, it takes its time. So it's about keeping it real as well.
Definitely. And the other one to talk about is adding a student on social media. We need to be really careful of those. Just because it's in front of us, our social media written down, doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. It's that what Regina said about crossing student boundaries. Okay, so let's move forward because we're only keeping you 15 minutes. So over to Sarah.
Okay, so professionalism then, the definition from Indeed in 2023, it refers to the way you behave and represent yourself. A professional attitude makes you trustworthy and reliable.
Brilliant.
So conduct, your behavioral conduct, and how we present ourselves to others, how we present ourselves to our students as the leader in the classroom, the person in charge, and how we present ourselves to our colleagues as well. And as long as we are keeping that clear and keeping boundaries clear, or I've just somebody else has arrived, which is brilliant.
That's all right, I've let them in.
Thank you. So what we do when the impact that we have when we demonstrate professionalism, well, we can show that we are effective in our role. We know the difference between professionalism and non-professionalism. And then the way we present ourselves, our head teacher, they will see us as useful, as important. We can build effective relationships with the other people in our school. That might be with the colleagues that we work with other teachers within the learning environment, and then the students. Our relationships with the students are important, but they must remain on a level of professionalism, because there is a definite difference that we cannot blur the boundaries with. Other people will treat you with more respect. It helps us to be recognized when we demonstrate professionalism. People will look up to us. They will look for our help and their advice. And ultimately, if we continue to demonstrate professionalism and effectiveness, it will help us to get the job that we want. If you want a promotion, it will help us to move forwards and upwards in our roles.
Absolutely. And we've got some replies, Sarah.
Yeah.
Dr. Jayas Sundara has said it, building a relationship with students is important. Absolutely. Our new course, Being a Professional Teacher, there is a whole section on how to build relationships with students and what they expect from us and what we expect from them in terms of relationship. And it uses scientific evidence and studies behind it as well. So for more information, certainly the workshop is just a taster, just for 15 minutes. If you visit Teach2030 and take our new course, that's something that's really going to help. You feel more confident with yourself. I think that's true, Regina. I think that's really, really true. Sarah's talked a lot about building a professional persona, and the more comfortable you feel in that persona, the more confident you will be. I think that's a really fair thing to say.
Absolutely.
Certainly.
It's almost like you're putting on a uniform, you're putting on a persona. And I know when I get dressed for work, I have a different set of clothes for work, and I feel confident when I've got them on. I'm confident to lead, to be in charge, to communicate with other professionals at the same level as me and above me. And it's a chance to prove myself and my skills as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll do a little summary now, and then we'll ask you a poll. And then for those people who don't know how to take a Teach 2030 course, we will show you how to do that as well. Okay, so because we know time's precious. So thinking about professionalism, the way you communicate and present yourself can really impact how other people see you. This workshop supports our new course, and part 2 you can take now. So we're going to have a little look at a poll again. So has this workshop made you think more about how to be a professional teacher? Yes or no? Has it made you think a little bit more about that? Yes or no?
It's brilliant.
Brilliant.
We're getting lots of yeses through, so
We
I'm really
are.
glad. I'm really glad that this has drawn your attention and allowed you to become more mindful of what professionalism means, and how there's a lot of different layers to professionalism as well.
Brilliant. Absolutely. Definitely.
And we
Okay.
address all the different layers in the course that's on Teach 2030 as well, that Alex has mentioned.
So 100% of you said it's made you think a little bit more about being a professional teacher. Now, we are at the end of the workshop because it's the 15 minutes, but I think it's probably a good time to just open it up and see whether anybody wants to say anything at all about professionalism, unmute themselves, volunteer to say something at all. Okay, so if you want to say anything about being a professional teacher, you are more than welcome to. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to show a little video on how we can sign up to the Teach 2030 courses. So have a think about whether you want to say anything in particular. This is now the end of the pedagogy of the workshop. So thank you so much for joining us, and do feel free if you've got other things to go and do. We really appreciate you being here. We'll show you the video on how to sign up to the Teach 2030 courses. And then what we'll do is we'll keep it open for a few minutes and see whether anybody wants to say anything. Let me know if you can't hear.
It is very simple to create your Teach 2030 account and choose the course that is right for you. You open up teach2030.com and visit the website. You click on the menu bar at the top and choose Teachers to explore the courses that we have. When you decide which course you would like to do, you have a look and I think, okay, I'd like to start planning lessons to reach all learners. I click Learn Today. This will take me to more information about this course. Is it right for me? Read the course objectives, have a little look at the course content, and then I think, yes, this is what I'd like to do. Part 1 of all our courses is free, so I click Take this course. You will then be asked to create your account. You can see planning lessons to reach all learners is in the basket. If you have a discount code, you would apply it here, but you do not need one for part 1 of any course, and then proceed to checkout. Here you enter your name. Make sure it is something that you will remember, so don't use a nickname that you might forget. Then here you enter your address. And then your email. Here you then enter your username. So again, make sure that you use a name that you are going to remember. And then you will be asked to create your own password. Make sure again it's something that you can remember, although it is possible to reset your account at any time. You then click Place Order. And your account will be created. You've now logged in. It says your name here, the courses that you can access. If you click on the course, you can get started straight away learning with Teach 2030.
Okay, so we'll stop sharing now. And what we'll do is we'll open it up for just a couple of minutes and see whether anybody wants to say anything about professionalism. Sarah's asked a couple of good few questions in the chat. And then if anybody does want to say anything, just put your hand up, or feel free to ask to unmute. If you're not quite sure how to do that, you can just type your name as well. That's absolutely fine. Go for it. Anybody want to say anything about professionalism and teachers, or ask a question about professionalism? Perhaps you might want to ask something you're not sure about something, or it might just be about teaching in general. We are here now just to answer any of your questions. So does anybody have a question that they'd like to ask? We've got someone on Facebook who said that they're sad because he was getting a problem of the network. We're really sorry to hear that. You can now watch it through our Teach 2030 website. So if you did miss it, you can do it through there. Okay, so that's a question answered there. So we'll give it one more minute, and then if there are no further questions, then we will end the workshop. So I'm going to say that there are no further questions. So thank you everybody for attending today. We really hope you found it useful. We look forward to seeing you again next month. Oh, Mitra, a question.
Hi, well, just a
Hello,
comment.
nice to meet you.
Likewise. Are you hearing me?
We are hearing you perfectly.
Great. So I just wanted to say I appreciated this because I think one of the tenets of professional behavior is ongoing professional development. And sometimes the reminders are so good, you know, because you've done it, some of the things you may have done before, but just being reminded of the little things, because the little things sometimes are actually the big things. So one of the things that stood out for me was trying to remember students' names, because I mean, it's something we all try to do, but there are just some students whose names we just can't remember. So it's something that I appreciated to be reminded of this morning. So thank you.
And thank you so much for sharing that, Mitra. And one thing I would definitely say about that is the number of students whose names I haven't pronounced correctly, because of, for whichever reason, and I try my hardest. Like, for example, on this workshop, there are different people's names that I have not been able to pronounce correctly. And one thing that I actually do on my register is phonetically write it down, so that it's not spelt correctly, but it sounds correct to me, so that when I'm seeing them again, I know not to write to them with the phonetic. I know I write their name correctly, but I remember how to pronounce it, because I think some students rightly get upset if they've been corrected 2-3 times, and then the 4th time you're still getting the name wrong, then it is going to affect the relationship pretty badly. Don't you think, Mitra?
The thing with that is that those students will have the same experience with other teachers, so they may have to go through it 5, 6, 7 times a day. So, you know, it gets to be stressful for them.
And I think as well, I think as well on the other side of that if they can see that you're trying and making an effort to correct yourself and question yourself, then it's good for them to see that we're sometimes not perfect as well, but we set an example by constantly trying to get better, to improve. And I think that's the other side of the coin, isn't it? Because I know I stumble on quite a few names in my classroom, but they can see that I'm trying, I'm taking the time to make an effort to try and get that pronunciation, to get to know them as more than a name, as a person as well. And I think that's important.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Go on,
sorry,
Mitra, sorry.
one of the things I do when I meet a class for the first time is I tell them, listen, I'm old and I have bad memory. So please bear with me while it takes me a little while to learn your names, you know, just for some humor, introduce some humor and to get that human understanding with them.
Absolutely. What we like to do as well is we kind of draw out a seating plan and write down the names of where each child is sat, so that I can be constantly referring to my seating plan, and I can address the students by their name, and then it starts embedding itself into my mind.
Definitely, yes.
Sarah took the words straight out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say. So thank you so much, Mitra. And you're right, the idea of professional development, the new course very much divides into 3 areas: the idea of relationships, the idea of behavior, and the idea of professional knowledge and practice. And it's the idea of an expertise, sorry. So it's the idea of knowing professionally where you're up to and what you need to work on as well. So
but
we have got,
again, I have to agree with Mitra. Timely refreshers and reminders like this, it brings it to the surface, it brings it to the forefront, and they're good reminders. Like, yes, professionalism is key, it's important, and things do fade a little bit because we're focusing on other angles, on other areas of our professional development. So to have timely reminders is it's important.
it really is. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for commenting, Mitra. Anything else that you or anybody else would like to add at all? Okay. I have just put a code into the chat for those people who have attended, just so that they can access the whole of being a professional teacher, the whole new course for free, and get their certificate. So that will be completely free. There will also be, there's lots of codes for our ambassadors as well, if you know one of our ambassadors too, but that code will help you. So if you just write that code down, then you'll be able to access it for free. I've put the website into the chat as well, and you can sign up there. Okay, we won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much for attending. Sarah is going to be hosting the next one, which I believe is October the 23rd, Monday, October the 23rd. If Mondays aren't good for you, you can rewatch them. Thank you so much. Anne is giving us a clap on Facebook, which is lovely. And Betty has said, great job, Sarah, and Alex, which is lovely. That's our CEO. So she's attended too. So thank you so much, everybody, for attending. We're really delighted to meet you all, and we really look forward to seeing you all again. Thank you so much, everybody. And if you need anything at all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Sarah's email address into the chat.
Yeah, feel free to contact.
So she is very much leading on our community. So if there's anything at all that you want, please do email Sarah. Okay, so skerr@commonwealtheducationtrust.org, and that's the same with anybody on Facebook. It is skerr@commonwealtheducationtrust.org. Lovely to see you all, and we'll hopefully look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.